It's 1900 hours GMT. Welcome to News 360 live from the News Hub at Adesanwe in Kanda, Accra. I am Solace Rose-Corte.
I'm Issa Mon. We have all the big stories tonight. Let's check out the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Premier Health Insurance.
In fact, since Yara, Mifi Hamurukopia, Oyamasa, Peter and the Penina in America, was that the closes in Wakan? Medijinum Papa. Since Yara, in fact, my affair.
Mixed reactions greets government's decision to postpone this year's close fishing season.
Ameri Energy denies knowledge of a renegotiated deal with government of Ghana, but government insists Ameri Energy was in the know.
When they saw that the people at magazine wouldn't allow them to open their shops, out of fear, they couldn't open their shops.
Ghana Union Traders Association calls for calm following sporadic confrontations between Nigerian and Ghanaian spare parts dealers in the Ashanti region.
And on the foreign front, 27 members of Opposition Movement for Democratic Change appear in Zimbabwe court over post-poll violence. We have all the details, including sports and entertainment, coming up this hour. We are also live on channel 279 on DSTV.
Let's get into the details of the bulletin now. The suspension of the intended closed season to all forms of fishing by the government has been greeted with mixed reactions from fisherfolk. Now, some civil society groups are disappointed at the non-persistence on the part of government, while some fisherfolk feel betrayed for backing government ahead of the closed fishing season. Others hailed government for giving them enough time to enable them prepare for it next year.
Of happiness, a bit of anger and disappointment and frustration characterized the meeting between stakeholders in the fisheries sector.
We had to fight, and we have fought a good fight. We have won the battle.
Mifi Hamurukopia, Oyamasa, Peter and the Penina in America, was that the closes in Wakan? Medijinum Papa. Since Yara, in fact, my affair.
I really advocated for the closed season. Now I'm so embarrassed. I don't know how to even face my community.
The announcement by government to postpone the closed season to August next year had been received with divergent views. Over 100 fisherfolk, leaders of various landing beaches, executive members of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council and the Fisheries Commission had been brought together by a civil society group on sustainable fisheries called Friends of the Nation. The meeting was to discuss the fallout of the closed season and the way forward to rebuilding the declining marine fish stock. Even though most of them were happy with the postponement, they were in full support of the intention to close the fishing season, which they believed would be done properly next year. One of their major concerns was to fight illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing practices, which have been a contributing factor to the crisis in the sector, with some blaming enforcement officials for selectively enforcing the laws against some communities.
Young we are wofi second. No, we are German, we are another state. No, I bet you who are light. Why be a second walk light?
They come all the way from Sekendi to arrest us at Axim for engaging in light fishing, even though there are some fishers over there who also engage in light fishing. If it's the monofilament nets that has caused this problem, why wouldn't they stop those who import them?
Some blamed the chief fishermen and leadership of the various beaches for poor communication of government decisions to the local people in their communities.
The best place to discuss this issue is at the beach, where a lot of the local folks are, not here in a hotel.
Others, however, wanted government to be bold and firm in its decision to ensure compliance to the various laws that would secure the fisheries sector. Organizers of the program, though disappointed in the development, were optimistic this will allow for broader consultation towards effective compliance next year.
We feel the government should have been firm because preparation had gone on. We also realized that when the close season discussion started, a lot of issues came to the fore. For instance, how IUU should be addressed, how fisher folk leaders were mobilized, were they talking for the people or for themselves. So you could see that this was catalyzing fisheries governance. We need active dialogue. And now the postponement, we don't want that dialogue and that discussion to fall out.
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council have welcomed the postponement of the close season. The council has vowed to support government to fight against illegal, unreported and unregulated, that is IUU fishing practices.
The opportunity is still there. The fishers have bought into this concept of the close season. It's just that the preparation did not go too well. So we are going back now to come out with a communication plan, to come out with more sensitization and education of the fishers, engage them more. From now till August 2019, a lot would be done to prepare them properly for this close season.
The head of Marine Fisheries Management Division of the Fisheries Commission, Matilda Quest, said the Commission would consider serious direct engagement with local communities on the issues.
This is what we have to do because in the past we're engaging more of their leaders, and it looks like the leaders were not going down to communicate whatever they have to do. So now our communication plan will be more elaborate, and we will do more sensitization through all the media, through direct contact with them, through our officers in the region.
An executive member of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, Nana Jojo Solomon, embraced the postponement, hailing the government for listening to them.
He's always had fisheries issues on his heart. I'm telling you, I know him personally. I know his promises for us and everything. And I also would thank the Minister for Fisheries. All intentions were meant to do us good. It's just that something small didn't go right.
He said the council was ready to assist the government to fight IUU while enforcing various fisheries laws.
Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council is now up to the task. We wrote a letter to the president on Thursday. The same Thursday, the president worked on the letter. Friday, the president called an emergency cabinet meeting. And today we are here. They have suspended it. But then the most fearful part of it is that there is coming a force. So if you are doing bad, stop it. Because we, Canoe Council, will give you up even before they catch you.
Nana Jojo Solomon and others blamed the situation on political interference and cautioned politicians to stay clear the fisheries sector.
The Ghana Union Traders Association, GUTA, is calling on its members to restrain themselves from assaulting Nigerian spare parts dealers in their quest to enforce a law that bars foreigners from retail business. The association, however, wants government to immediately enforce the law to save Ghanaian retailers from being pushed out of business. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Some Ghana Union Traders Association members have allegedly taken the law in their hands to forcefully drive away some Nigerian spare parts dealers in Suame magazine. This came on the back of government's decision to suspend plans to enforce a law which bars foreigners from engaging in retail business. The Ghana National Association of Garages has condemned the indigenous spare parts dealers for assaulting their Nigerian counterparts. Ashanti Regional Secretary of GUTA, Maxwell Banfo, however, denied the assault on foreigners by their members. He admitted that Some of the angry Ghanaian spare parts dealers took the law in their hands to scare their Nigerian counterparts from opening their shops.
When they saw that the people at magazine wouldn't allow them to open their shops, out of fear, they couldn't open their shops. For violence, I can stick my neck out that one didn't happen.
The Ashanti Regional Secretary of Guta called on members to remain calm as leadership engage with government on the way forward.
Our law doesn't permit foreigners to do retail business. In order to bring peace, the best thing is for the government to make sure that the law works. That will settle everything once and for all.
Now let's move away from trading issues into other aspects of the news tonight. And tens of thousands of acres of assorted crop farms have been submerged in flash floods in the Boku West district of the Upper East region. District officials of the National Disaster Management Organization say the district is recording more rains, leading to water levels in lakes, rivers, and tributaries rising significantly. Here is what Eva Atiboka has gathered.
Usually the rains are heavy in August through to September. However, flash floods are already causing havoc in July and 2 days into August. Incessant rains have caused water levels in the White and Red Volta to swell to record high. Deputy District NADMO Director Daniel Ania Atampuba says water levels in other water bodies are also incredibly full.
25th, 26th, you could not even go near the White Volta. Other rivers, especially the Red Volta, other dams and other tributaries that even connects to this White Volta, they all overflowed their banks. Even small rivers, even in town, they all overflowed their banks.
27 communities in the district are already affected by the flash floods. NADMO is yet to assess the level of damage, but officials noted large swaths of assorted crop farms nearing harvest are covered in the floods. Ndibugri Simon Alariba and others say they watched their farms being washed away during the rains.
7 good hours. As we are talking today, that's almost 8 days today. And as we are talking, the water is still there. Most of the crops are still submerged in the water. We were thinking that the water could have flowed out quickly and allowed the maize and other crops to survive.
And I've never experienced this kind of flood before. I've been experiencing flood, but not like this year.
The rain pattern here has been that continuous. I have about 10 acres. I planted maize, granite, and then that of the lead millet.
Cashew farms were also not spared. The Deputy NADMO Director says it will be disastrous if the rains do not subside anytime soon.
Boku West district would be in the sad mood. If the Bakri Dam opens today, then it means that we have to declare the Boku West district as a disaster district.
Bagri Dam is always filled late August or early September, but Atampuba says already his checks indicate Burkina Faso is also recording heavy rains.
I was suspecting that maybe the Bagri Dam, they must have opened it without our knowledge. But when I make my checks, I realize that they have not opened the Bagri Dam. So expect more water, especially from the Bagri Dam, because it rains all the way from Burkina Faso down to Ghana here. So I'm sure by now they too would have been facing some kind of challenges. So the possibility of opening the Bagri Dam is high.
In anticipation of heavy rains which could cause more flooding, the district NADMO officials can only monitor the situation.
No vehicle, no even a motorbike, no even a walking boot. As I'm standing, we are standing on the full deck, no walking boot for us. Absolutely nothing. Have to work. You cannot sit in the office and say that because of these challenges, I will not work.
Daniel Atampuba wants national authorities to begin talks with Burkinabe authorities for moderate level spillage this year in order to avert extensive flood damage in Ghana.
Right, let's do some more stories now. Teachers of Al Hidayah Islamic Primary School in the Atrima Mponua district of the Ashanti region are threatening to close down the school if authorities do not take immediate steps to reconstruct a dilapidated classroom block in the school. A portion of the block has caved in, while other parts have developed serious cracks, threatening the lives of both pupils and teachers. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Established in 2003 as a private school, the Al Hidayah School was a sigh of relief to both parents and pupils in Chemchemso and other surrounding communities. Prior to the establishment of the school, school children had to trek about 8 kilometers daily to Kotokom to access basic education. Most children within the age bracket of 5 to 10 years were discouraged from traveling long kilometers to access education. The community therefore put up these structures to serve as classrooms in the quest to provide education for their wards. In 2008, the school was adopted by government but has since not witnessed any upgrade. Classroom blocks are in a deplorable state, making it not suitable for effective teaching and learning. Portions of the classroom block collapsed and injured 2 pupils last year. Parts of the walls have developed serious cracks, and the roofs leak badly anytime it rains, interrupting academic activities. Headmaster of the school, Jiewu Amen, said the situation is life-threatening.
When we come to class, looking at the building, the children, and immediately it rains, we have to go home. And what we come here to do is all nothing.
He hinted of their intention to close down the school should authorities fail to act immediately on the state of the classroom block.
We were in the classroom when we heard a child crying. We came out to find out that one of the block part fell on his leg. And actually, we even tried closing down the school because looking at the structures here, it's not good at all. And doesn't, even give the teachers the audacity to teach.
Out of a total of 6 teachers, only 3 are trained teachers because the teachers refused postings to the school. The PTA chairman of the school, Robert Dawuni, was worried parents had tried their best to maintain the school, but government is still not forthcoming with any assistance.
The whole school is falling apart. We started rebuilding it and we received promises from the government to help, but till date we haven't seen anything from them.
Basic education is free and compulsory in Ghana, but some primary school pupils in rural parts of the country continue to learn in deplorable classroom blocks.
Well, do you own a luxury vehicle? I'm sure the first question will be, what is a luxury car? Is it found in the brand, features, specifications, or the engine capacity? On August 1, 2018, the VAT on luxury vehicles with 3.0 engines and above took effect. In the following report, Natalie Fort explores the definition of a luxury vehicle and the correlation between high-capacity engines and luxury.
The imposition of a luxury vehicle import tax as part of a new policy to help raise more revenue. He said the tax would be imposed on luxury vehicles with a capacity of 3.0 litres and above. He further said the tax would be paid at registration and subsequently at annual renewal of roadworthy certificates. According to the minister, the move is to ensure that the country meets its fiscal deficit target of 4.5% and further exits the International Monetary Fund program. The use of the term luxury vehicle tax, however, has got some stakeholders and car users asking what exactly is a luxury vehicle.
The Aston Martin, Benz, Chryslers, Range Rovers, you name it. These are all known as the world's most luxurious vehicle brands. What exactly does one mean when we talk of a luxury vehicle? The imposition of a VAT on luxury vehicles with engines 3.0 and above have got many people asking the question, what exactly is a luxury vehicle? We seek to find out.
A luxury vehicle is defined as a marketing term for a vehicle that provides pleasant or desirable features beyond strict necessity at increased expense. Simply defined, a luxury item is something that goes beyond the basics. The term suggests a vehicle with higher quality equipment, better performance, more precise construction, comfort, higher design, prestige, or any other discretionary feature. Prince Amponsa is an automotive expert.
A luxury car simply means it's much more dependent on the specifications that the cars comes with. That's number one. And then the quality of materials used. Mercedes right now are eating into engines that are, kind of like 1.6 liter, 1.8 and all that. So the engine doesn't necessarily, comes into play when we are calling a car a luxury car.
In recent times, luxury brands such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz and Audi offer turbochargers on most of their high-end models. This results in many luxury cars having engines lower than 3.0. Compared with a naturally aspirated engine of identical power output, the fuel consumption of a turbocharger engine is lower, as some of the normally wasted exhaust energy contributes to the engine's efficiency. Due to the lower volumetric displacement of the turbo engine, frictional and thermal losses are less. Managing Director of Pearl Shine Motors, Prince Oduola, admonishes the government for not engaging the needed stakeholders. He believes government was being ill-informed.
The only problem is that the government didn't do their feasibility studies very well. Now, all the latest cars we're having in town now, people are complaining about fuel consumption. And this consumption they are talking about, the vehicle manufacturer, they are working on it. That is why you see on that CRV, latest one, that is 1.5 liters, turbo. So when they fall under this thing, would they pay anything on it?
Car importers are made to pay at the ports for importing cars, depending on their engine capacity. Managing Director of Ayo Card Company Limited, Ogunremi Ayokanmi, says he fears the tax is going to cripple his business.
That tax, to me personally, is a double tax. It's going to affect our business seriously. Even as at now that this thing just kick-started, I have a lot of friends who have been using those cars now. They want to put their car for sale.
Director of OA Cars Port, Randy Opoku, however, is of the view the new tax is a step in the right direction.
It's a choice. If you want to drive a big car, then you pay more duty. Because we are not paying that 1,000 Ghana. It doesn't come from the dealers. And we are going to pay at the port too. We are paying at the lines of the DVLA. So if the DVLA is charging that much, then it doesn't affect us directly.
Nana Opoku is a car owner, and he describes the luxury vehicle VAT as nuisance.
I'm not happy with it because we are suffering in Ghana now, and they want to bring new taxes on this vehicle. I'm planning to buy a 4x4 to make a business, hiring. But because of this issue, I'm thinking to reverse back because I can't afford it.
Evidently, the term luxury is highly variable and relative. It is perceptual, conditional, and subjective, and may be comprehended differently by different people. What is a luxury car to some may be ordinary to others. Perhaps the VAT would have been better captured as the high engine capacity VAT, rather than luxury vehicle VAT. Whatever the case, the objective is clear. The larger your engine, the greater your tax. So, be prepared. Natalie Fort, TV3 News, Accra.
This is News 360 and still to come tonight. Ameri Energy denies knowledge of a renegotiated deal with government of Ghana, but government insists Ameri Energy was in the know.
It's still News 360 live from the News Hub at Adesanwe in Kanda, Accra. We'll be back with more after this. Do stay. Welcome back to News 360. It's now time for Mission. It is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. Let's start off from the northern region where alleged witches at the Patinga witch camp in that region are starving. Now that is not their only worry. Stigma has also made victims uncomfortable. Stanley Niblewu reports the situation needs immediate attention.
For decades, they have been isolated. The northern region has 5 witch camps, and the Gushegu district alone has 2. The Patinga camp has 40 alleged witches. Some live here with their relatives. Having been attacked, humiliated, and stigmatized, they have moved here to seek refuge. Many more are thrown out by the communities, while others have to run for crimes they have not committed.
My child slept and dreamed about me and said I came to her in the night. So that was all. He said I'm going to kill him. So because of that, they drive me away.
Another corroborated their story.
A child died and then we all even went to the funeral. So the following day, the child fathers came to and told my husband that I killed the child.
Before the alleged witches are admitted, rituals to exorcise the spirits in them are performed. This is the caretaker's job.
When you brought your person here, I only charge only a small amount, like 100 Ghana cedis, because you brought her and say she's a witch or she's very bad. So I have to use that of your money and then bath her so that she will become neat and then she will no more be a bad person again.
This, however, does not end stigmatization. The camp is not a good place for school-going children.
If me and my classmate fight, they are insulting me that my parents are witch chiefs. I'm not feeling happy because of that.
For alleged witches, integration is what they look forward to.
My child cannot come back for me unless the community people they decide and tell my son that go and bring your mother. Now we will accept your mother.
About 85% of people who live at the camp are aged and can barely feed themselves.
For the feeding, they are suffering. They don't get food. So we told our district assembly to come to our aid. But after now, they haven't looked upon us.
Hunger is therefore rife. Some have not had food for close to 2 months.
Because of my other colleagues who are staying here, normally when I short of food, they normally provide me some food.
The Gushegu District Chief Executive, Issa Musa, disclosed the assembly will now include the needs of the camp in their plans.
Sometimes we even involve them who want to do budget listing. We ask them to come, they'll come and we'll listen to them. Yeah, they have been coming here. We sometimes, get some materials, go there and some items and distribute it to them. But maybe because of the word alleged, there are some people who don't even want to go near them.
The assembly, however, wants camps closed. A non-governmental organization, Songtaba, is pushing for alleged witches camps to be closed.
Witchcraft accusation has been with us in the northern region. And sometimes I can say it's like seasonal. Seasonal because with the absence of CSM in the region, we see more accusation. And for me, I would say that it is the belief that when there's a sudden discomfort in a community, and CSM can cause that. And usually when that happens, they are looking for some old woman to accuse.
Executive Director of Songtaba, Lamnatu Adam, wants government to increase policies to safeguard the vulnerable.
It's enshrined in our constitution. All the right violations are there, even though we do not have a particular article in any policy about witchcraft accusation. But then there are issues of assault, there are issues if there's a property damage, there's where, a woman can get redress for it. But then what government has not been able to do is ensuring that at the rural areas, women who are accused are protected. And sometimes the frustration lies in the person who is accused making so much effort to get redress. And yet, if it is a woman, she's already economically vulnerable, to be following up on this police issue.
Stakeholders want the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to go to the rescue of these alleged witches.
Well, let's move away from the northern region to the Upper East region. Months after Mission reported of inadequate health facilities in the Bongo district of the Upper East region, the District Assembly has almost completed a new health center at Bongo Soin. The facility, which will serve over 1,500 people, will reduce the pressure on the only facility in the area.
Healthcare delivery is difficult in the Bongo district.
The Bongo district is made up of 43 health facilities. We have one district hospital, 36 CHIPS compounds, functioning CHIPS compounds, one private clinic, and 6 health centers.
But this is inadequate, compelling many to engage in self-medication. The bad terrain is also a factor.
In this particular location, we have what we call the Babibsi. These are people who treat people locally. They will not allow people to go to the hospital because of the distance. So they'll take advantage of the distance and detain them here and treat them locally, and sometimes it leads to them losing their lives.
In Bongo Soin, the pressure on the only health facility is a challenge. For over 10 years, residents have asked for a health center. Many letters were written to the assembly.
We also share boundary with Burkina Faso, so there's pressure on that facility. The foreigners come, plus the number of people living in this entire Soin community. So there was the need to put out this facility to augment and release the pressure on that facility.
Mission's advocacy with the assembly yielded positive results. The assembly saw the urgent need to put up a new health facility. Work started and it's almost complete.
From the foundation, we went to the correct depth. The molding of the blocks was well cured. That's why you see the structure like that. So once you have the blocks well cured, the foundation well established, then whatever happens, definitely the structure would follow same.
About 1,500 people in Bongo Soin will not have to travel far to access health care. The assembly says the District Directorate of Health is ready to take over the facility and post personnel here. The Health Directorate is happy services will get to the people. Meanwhile, the District Assembly is poised to expand facilities at the Bongo District Hospital to improve healthcare delivery.
Well, that's it for Mission tonight. Don't forget that it is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, the UK Aid and the European Union. So we'll move on to the controversy of the Ameri deal, where Issa Moni is standing by with some insightful interviews.
Welcome back. Let's do some more stories tonight. And management of Ameri Energy says it had no discussions with government with regards to the new deal with Metallenius. In a letter dated July 31, directed to the Energy Ministry, CEO of Ameri Energy, Maher Al-Alili, denied engaging government in any negotiations.
Government laid a renegotiated agreement on the floor of Parliament in July 2018 for a renegotiation of the Ameri deal, which was originally signed in February 2015. In the renegotiated agreement, government is expected to extend the $510 million deal from its original 5 years to 15 years, with the government committing over $700 million to it. However, a letter dated July 31 from Ameri to the Energy Ministry denied engaging government in any negotiations. Management of Ameri Energy says, under the ongoing circumstances, they will not be associated with the so-called amended agreement. Ameri maintained they remain committed to the original agreement signed in February 2015. Management of Ameri Energy also urged government to settle default payment of some $82,660,560 owed them. The company noted the failure in the payment of the debt owed them will lead to legal action.
However, the Ministry of Energy has released a letter purported to have been authorized by or authored by Ameri on July 24, authorizing one Nicholas Mawusi Addo to initiate the amendment agreement for build, own, operate and transfer agreements. The supposed authority is strictly limited to the purpose and only allows the representative to only initiate the innovation and also amendment agreement. So now the authorization in favor of the authorized representative and supposedly signed by the CEO of Ameri, Maher Al-Alidi, shall expire on 27 July, or was expected to expire on 27th July. Right, this is a huge issue and has generated controversy, and we are pleased to be joined in the studio by Nana Damwa. And Nana Damwa is a communication specialist with the Ministry of Communication. Nana, good to see you. Welcome to News 360.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, so now let's shoot. At what point did Ameri give their consent to this arrangement with Miscellaneous?
Okay, may I first of all state that the letter that you showed firstly, the one that is purported to have been written on the 31st of July 2018 has not been received by the ministry. Okay. We are unaware of it. We saw it for the first time on social media today. We have no official records whatsoever of it. We've not seen anything like that, and we've had no such notification from Ameri that they have written any such letter to us, and so we'd want to put that on the record clearly.
All right.
Again, what they seek to say in that letter is clearly contradicted by the letter of authorization, which, if you want, you can characterize it as a power of attorney that was given to Mawusi Addo for him to initiate the agreement. And I mean, you may want to verify what I am saying with the lawyers, but to initial an agreement of such a quality means that you agree to the terms therein in the agreement. So I'll be surprised that after having given that authority to an individual to come and initiate the agreement, a claim is now being made that they had no idea or no knowledge whatsoever of the agreement that was presented to Parliament. That's a very, very confusing matter. But what we can say for certain is that indeed we received the power of attorney or the letter of authorization which was issued to the said individual, and the said individual was allowed to do his job as per the letter of authorization that he brought us indicated.
All right, so how would you describe the negotiation with a third party when the government is reported to owe Ameri 82 million? It sounds like something that is not really good in business. How would you want to explain that?
That is why the vehicle that was chosen was innovation and amendment. Innovation means to attempt to change or modify, and amendment is also in similar taste. So what it meant was that the agreement that existed was a little bit problematic for either one or more of the parties, and so they wanted to make some changes to it to ensure that it appealed to everybody. And it's instructive to note that government could not have entered into such a negotiation without the permission of Ameri, because at the end of the day, if Ameri did not agree to the innovation agreement in any form, then whatever it is that government was going to negotiate on would have been moot in the very first place.
All right,
so it cannot be the case
we'll definitely come back to that, but that's an interesting point, Nana. So we are joined by Kojo Poku now. Kojo Poku is an energy analyst and joins us by Skype. Kojo, welcome to News 360. Good evening to you.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
Right, so what do you make of the latest information that Ameri Energy was not consulted before the renegotiations, Kojo?
Well, when I first saw that letter, I was a bit confused. So I decided to do my checks. And we have checks that sources that we go to when some of these letters come into the public domain. My first impression was thinking that the letter was a fake, but later it was confirmed by my sources that it's not a fake, it's a real letter. Then the source sent me the authorization letter that Mr. Damois speaks of. Now, the interesting bit that I want to clarify for everybody looking at that letter is pay attention to not aware of the negotiation. What they are trying to point out in that letter is to say that they are not aware that the process, the document has not gone through the necessary process. So the first paragraph of that letter goes to say that, because bear in mind, they are writing this letter to the minister. So they are trying to tell the minister that they did not know that the so-called novation deal has not gone through the necessary processes. So that's how I understand that letter. That letter does not go to say that they are not aware of the novation negotiation or any of such. They are just pointing out to the minister that they are not aware that the processes have not gone through the right procedure.
All right, so let me end it with you before I come back to Nana in the studio. So is it possible to negotiate such a huge deal within 3 days? I mean, with your experience, what can you say about that?
Well, I don't think this thing went through 3 days. You know, this thing has been ongoing. There has been the delegation that went to the Addiston delegation. It's been ongoing. From as far as we are concerned, there's a lot of back and forth. Look, let's be honest with ourselves. Most of us disagree with the nature of the deal that the minister took to Parliament, but the procedure, in this case, you cannot fault the minister and go to say that he did not consult Mary. I think that one, everybody should put that to bed. Mary was aware of the negotiation. The authorization they gave to Nicolas Mausi Ado shows that they are aware. So please, let's not muddy the ongoing situation where a bad deal was sent to Parliament with the notion that Mary was not aware. From the documents that we've cited, Mary was aware, but they just want to point out that they did not know that the deal that they were party to had not gone through the process. All right.
That's Kojo Pogu. He's an energy analyst there, giving us his take on what is becoming the controversial, the Ameri deal. Kojo, we're grateful for your time. Let me come back to the studio and speak to Nana Damois. Now, let's look at the other issue, which is also very disturbing. So we are told that Cabinet Subcommittee described the revised deal as shocking. Meanwhile, earlier on, there was a statement that it could bring down the cost of electricity tariffs. So this is a bit confusing.
By who exactly, if I may ask?
Well, the issue was, it came out in the news. We picked the story, and we are told that Cabinet Subcommittee described the revised deal as very shocking.
And that's exactly why I'm asking for the source, because my information does not indicate to anything like that whatsoever.
Okay, so if that is becoming problematic, did Cabinet ever approve this Ameri deal?
I'm sure you are aware that it went to Parliament by executive approval, and that is very different from Cabinet approval. So I don't know what the issue there is, because clearly it went to Parliament by executive approval, which purports that where it went or where the approval for the deal was coming from. What is clear, what is uncontestable in this whole issue is that there are several attempts to misrepresent the truth. And some persons, for whatever reason there is, have an interest in ensuring that the real facts of the matter are not put out for the Ghanaian people to understand. And we are saying that we are committed to ensuring that our actions are always in the best interest.
What do you think is missing here? Why is it becoming difficult for the deal to come out so clearly for Ghanaians to understand what exactly is happening?
That's a question that we are trying to understand, because, as I have said, we do not have any knowledge of the letter that is already out there in the social media as a ministry. And so you can imagine our shock when a letter that is already out there seeking to give some information. We don't have it. We don't have any idea of it. We don't even know of its existence, but it's out there. And we cannot even comment as to the authenticity of others. Kojo Poku says that he has checked and the letter is authentic, but we cannot, because the letter is addressed to the Minister of Energy, but we have not received a copy. Interestingly, the date is 31st of July. I don't know. You may want to remind viewers of today's date. But we have not received any such thing. We are being called upon to discuss matters such as this within the media space. And so it's a bit confusing.
So how would you want the Ghanaian public to finally conclude on this Ameri deal?
Well, you see, as a Ministry of Energy, with the ministry responsible for all of such things, we have always held that we will continue to do our work in the best interest of the people of the Republic of Ghana. We have a mandate to execute, and we continue to pursue the execution of that mandate, and we will ensure that the vision of the president is shown. We have gone ahead to give Ghanaians some very good benefits, and we are committed to that course at all costs. What is necessary, what is critical, is that we want the people of Ghana not to be alarmed at all. That letter, we are yet to receive it. However, we will not go ahead to engage in any act that is, may I use the word, pseudo-criminal. We have enough
So
integrity.
you probably haven't answered my question. What should we make of the Ameri deal now? Is it good to go with it? Should we accept it as something good, or what?
It's a decision that is to be made at another level. I believe that government will want to also look at, it's going through the various stages. The last time I heard, Parliament had requested for some further documentation for it to be looked at. I am also informed that Cabinet has asked for a look at it. So let's see what the outcome of those deliberations will be.
Do you know how long? Do you have an idea?
Oh, I cannot sit here. I mean, with all of these developments that are coming, you can be sure that some interests are definitely at work, and so there's quite a lot of work that is going to have to be done on it. But
it remains confusing. I mean, we accept your explanation. We'll look forward to that. When the decision comes out, I'm sure Ghanaians will be very much informed.
Thank you very much.
Nana Damwa, Communication Specialist, Minister of Energy, we're grateful for your time. Thank you for joining us on News 360. Now, you're watching News 360. We take a little break. In entertainment news tonight, the remains of high life legend Juwalaka has been laid to rest at Axim in the Western region. The burial service, which was held at the Tema Community 11 Complex School Park, was attended by some very great musical and political personalities.
Juwalaka, who died on Friday, April 27 at 73 after battling stroke and other sicknesses for 10 years, was laid to rest Saturday at Axim in the Western region. He was laid in state on Friday at Community 11 Complex School Park, where friends and family paid their respects. Present at the funeral was ex-President Jerry John Rawlings, General Secretary for the NDC Johnson Nesiedin Ketia, Paramount Chief of Lower Axim Nana Atiburukusu III, Jedublay Ambule, and some renowned high-life musicians. Even though Bessa Simon, Vice President of Musica, gave an open invitation on Onua FM's Enijemre to the young artist to attend Jewel's funeral, none of them was seen. Speaking to ex-President Jerry John Rawlings, he described Juwalaka to be a man of principles who looked at his values before money.
If he wasn't a principled person, extremely principled, he wouldn't have joined us and been such a great inspirer as he turned out to be, based on principles. Money didn't come before his values. His values came before money.
Yabua Tinjan, former national organizer of the NDC, also described Juwalaka as a legend and said he was just like a brother to him.
I'm one person who lived closely with Jua for a very long time. I loved his music, I love his voice, the way they play, that fancy high life.
Jewel's only surviving sister and some very notable figures in the arts and entertainment industry shared their general feelings.
Somebody of that statue, look at where we are. Here must be full with people because he has entertained people in their homes, in their cars, in their offices, and things like that. So that person that gave you that form of entertainment is no more. Your last respect, at least, you know,
I look around, I don't see the rappers, the yo-yos, I don't see them here.
Well, may Jewel's soul rest in perfect peace. His music will live on forever. That's all time, Lola, for this edition of News 360. I am Isa Moni.
And I am Solis Rose Quarter. Have a good evening.